Sometimes I have girls come up to me dancing at the club and they're like, oh, like, you know, you're really hot, like, you know, this or that. Or I have a girl come up to me, hey, my friend thinks you're really cute. And you know what? I fucking play with it. I don't mind girls hitting on me, and most times I'll hit on them back. You know, it doesn't. You know,
they're not gonna hit on you anymore after this.
Oh my God! No, but I don't know what it is. Some women are just attracted to gay men. You know,
yes.
And you know, and I always said, you know, I'm very passionate about women. You know, I respect women. I love women. I mean, I've had sex with women in my past life as well. I mean, I don't consider myself gay. You know what I'm saying? I consider myself a guy who just lives life to the fullest, you know? And
we shouldn't label.
That's
like
how it should be, man.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone will make their own choices at the end of the day, but I feel like living like that, I see it like more like enrich you more because you have more experiences and you're able to be with more people and like get the best of everyone and like
Absolutely.
being in different situations and different positions. I mean, different positions, but like,
and you can't put people in a tiny little box and say, this is your box, this is who you are. No, people are so complex and intricate and there's nothing as complicated as another human being.
Oh, yeah.
So labels and boxes, no time for them. Hey?
I always used to say, leave the labels at the door, and we'll continue our life for whatever it is.
Yes.
You know, so
obviously it's very hard to not label you when your surname is gay.
It is, but it's you only know that because I tell you that.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
and that's part of the thing out there, right? You don't always need to come out these crazy outfits. You don't always need to introduce your full name either.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if I don't do these things, people also won't know, or they also will get certain type of vibes in here and there.
Do you
know?
ever introduce yourself as just Tom? Negative.
I think that's a strong no, to be honest. I think even in corporate meetings, you know, when I'm sitting at a board table going over, you know, financial numbers or whatever, even with my CEOs or, you know, whatever I work on, it's it's Tom Gay from the USA, you know? And I think that's something that I think has kind of adapted itself into my life over the years, especially because I really want to focus on getting myself out there more, you know, spreading awareness of just, you know, being who you are and really living it. But I don't think that's it will ever change. But sometimes, for example, like if I, you know, if it's in a very quick meeting, you know, like you just met, like, you know, Julia Roberts or, you know, something like that, or someone comes across, you know, it's very quick, fast. I'll just say, maybe I'll say Tom, or I'll try to get in Tom Gay. You know what I'm saying? But usually it's Tom Gay from the USA. And then when you say that, people it clicks. They stop what they're saying and they look at you and they look back and they have this confused face. And
that's exactly what happened to me.
Then they repeat it back. So then now they've said it. So now once they've said it, they remember it. So suddenly it's a fucking circle of marketing that just works now. And you understand who I am.
It works.
Did you ever have someone say like, Sandra straight from Australia?
Yes. Oh my God. You know, the amount of times I think it's more or less increased recently. It's funny though, because I've met, you know, a guy just recently, his name was Tom. And I was like, hi, I'm Tom Gay from the USA. And he was like, I'm Tom straight from Australia. And
That's it.
I laugh sometimes because it's so funny that people, you know, put that two to two together. It's common thinking, right? It's common thinking. But I laugh and I find it so funny. And then I tell the person after they've said it, I was like, well, my actual last name's Gay. And they're like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
I'm Smith.
I'm Tom Smith from Australia. And then I'm like, it's okay, bud. I'm kind of gay sometimes as well. So.
But that's such an icebreaker as well. And you feel like you're like already closer to this person that you're going to probably have a meeting or party with, you know, for the rest of the day. So it's like it's so good. And you help people break
down that barrier, right?
Yeah.
And every day I say my name. It's breaking down a barrier of comfortability.
That's true.
You know, for someone to say these things, or even say the word gay.
Yeah,
you
so
know,
this
maybe
is a big something for people to take on. Like, hey, when you're introducing yourself, say something wacky. Like, so that's the best. Like, as a girl, like guys ask me all the time. I have a lot of guy friends. I grew up with guy friends, and they're always like, "What's a good phrase? What's a good pickup line?" I'm like, just something wacky. Like, just don't ask her what her name is or where she's from. You know, like anything else goes.
Get
just
outside
ask,
the
why
bubble.
is the sky blue? Try it. You know, anything. So yeah, it's really good.
Thank you. Years of practice, I'll say that.
Just hit Tom Gay from the USA up and he'll teach you a lot.
Teach you everything.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree with you in the Qatar thing. Although I'm a very affectionate person, not because I want people to see, just because I am.
Yeah.
So it's really hard. It would be hard for me, man, to go to the World Cup and not be able to be affectionate to my partner. However, I do respect cultures. I do respect, especially a country. I think, honest opinion, based on my knowledge, I think country, politics, religion should never mix. But some countries, they were founded under religion, and that's how they are. You can't waste your time like trying to change them. Yeah. And if you're going there, you're meant to respect them.
Absolutely.
And that's what you have to do. Like, I love gym. I have a lot of shirts that like show a lot of my body. When I went to Dubai, like I had to take care, you know, like when I went to a shopping mall, for example, I couldn't wear the clothes that I usually do. Yep. And then I did it, man. And it's just like, I just think like it must be so hard for the athletes. It must be hard for a few people. They are very expressive and about it, and they can't. And not only a homosexual, gay, or whatever, like women, like being a woman in these countries can be very hard to, if you have a different mentality. But that's a thing that you know you can't change, and it is what it is. I am apolitical. I don't support any politician, I'm interested about the topics. I'm interested about how politicians work and the dynamics and how they gain power and how they manage power. I read a lot about that, but it's not like I'm not gonna support anyone or vote. Like, kind of like I have my own perspective on it, and I just don't like to waste my energy. I like to put my energy on other stuff, to be very honest.
Focus on the things you can do. And don't focus on things that you're trying to change a whole country.
Outside of your control.
No, absolutely
Especially
not.
things you can't control.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You can't do that. You can spend your life tiring yourself out trying to change someone else. But the moment you realize that you can't change them, your life focus goes somewhere else. It goes on you.
Yeah, I'm a bit of an idealist, so I would learn about these situations. I like to stay informed, just like you guys. And then in my head, I just think of a solution of how to make it better. If anybody's interested, I will give them my opinion. But if not, like you guys, you know, we cannot fret about the things that we cannot change.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's just going to make us very anxious.
Yeah. happy vibes, everyone. Happy freaking vibes.
Happy vibes.
Let's do it, you know.
Amazing. So now I know I can freely call you gay, you know, because I'm very.
You can call me Mr. Gay if you'd like to.
Tom Gay, because I'm actually like about the N word. Just like an encore moment here. Yep. In Brazil, we have the word negro and negão, right? So when
it's the same word in Romanian, negro.
Yeah. But negão, So like we kind of like weird about these words nowadays because, you know, with this whole movement, especially after George Floyd, it became even harder, like the Black Lives Matter movement, and like the N-word became a thing, and like when Joe Rogan, like they kind of like dig into it, and like they found this old video about him, like all these things that are going. So I grew up with a friend. I call him Negão all the time. We grew up like that. He called me Negão, I call him Negão, and now I can't anymore because. It's just like I can't. You know, like all the people will perceive it in a different way.
And it just goes back to what we were talking about, right? When a country is now backing something, you kind of have to fit in, right?
Yeah.
You have to morph to what the majority of population is doing. Because if you don't, well, then suddenly you become a target. And then now you stand out a bit more. And now you're kind of being racist, or you're being sexist, or you're being all of these other things, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want to be, no one wants to be labeled as that. I mean, if you want to be labeled by that, keep doing what you're doing. If you don't, stop doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that goes into also like another thing. People don't want to be. Some people don't want to be labeled anymore. Definitely, and fitting into the rule. Like so, they have these things now that you have different pronouns, right?
Pronouns, yeah.
Yeah, and then like, oh my God, some people are just so anal about the fact that like, oh, now I have to call them different pronouns, right?
Yeah.
But like. It's a matter of respect as well, and like if someone wants to, if I call someone a pronoun then they don't want to be called and they correct me, I won't try it again. I will call them the pronoun they want
Absolutely,
to be.
as you should, right? Because people now have been vulnerable and they've told you what they prefer in their life, and all they're doing is asking for respect, and you give respect back, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how life balance works.
Yeah.
Right?